The Championship promotion race just never stops going. Middlesbrough against Sunderland today in a local rivalry and a very entertaining match. Sunderland do come out victors with a 3-2 scoreline. But to be honest, Middlesbrough put in a pretty good performance overall. I personally would say that they were the better team for maybe 60 minutes of the match. But Sunderland, both teams actually were really good on the counter-attack, catching the opposite on the break. And Sunderland ended up with a few lucky goals. Obviously a massive deflection in the first half. And then one of the greatest own goals I've seen in a long while in the second half. But let's get on to the game and talk about that a little bit. I'd say it's not quite at a must-win level, but it isn't far off. Both teams, Middlesbrough fighting for those playoff spots, and a lot of teams are starting to catch up on them. You've got Norwich, you've got Coventry, West Brom are obviously above them, but also in kind of poor form at the minute. Sheffield Wednesday and Bristol aren't too far off. This is why the Championship is always amazing, and if you are a Championship fan, please do remember to hit like and subscribe. We talk a hell of a lot about football and especially the Championship. But on the game, Ayling was fantastic today, or at least passing wise he was. A few great crosses, a few passes into the box, one of which came in the 4th minute to Force, who had a header on target, maybe could have done a little bit better, quite close to the keeper. But it's nice to see Ayling still thriving. Sometimes you look, there was a game a couple of weeks ago, I believe it was against Preston, where he made a bit of an error, maybe didn't get up too quickly, and you think, is he kind of done at Championship level? But I thought he had a very good game today. But let's talk about the goals. The first of which came for Middlesbrough, a fantastic through ball from Hackney, who put Bergzorg through one-on-one, slots it home. Admittedly, there should have been a free kick to Sunderland in the build-up, 2 slight fouls, but definitely an overall foul before Hackney gets the ball and places it through. That doesn't take anything away from the through ball or the finish. And then after that goal, we kind of saw Sunderland pick up the pace a little bit. This was a match where whenever one team scored, it seemed like the other team woke up for a section and then fell back asleep. But obviously with 5 goals, that's bound to have happened. And then Sunderland, against the flow of the match, get an equaliser with a shot from the edge of the box. You've always got to shoot, but a massive deflection. The original shot was going straight at the Middlesbrough goalkeeper, makes it 1-1. And they go into half-time, and to be honest, up to this point, it really wasn't going that way. Sunderland were very lucky to be going in level. But in the second half, they came out on top, definitely the better team, and make it 2-1. Another fantastic pass through, this time to Isidore for Sunderland, who absolutely sits the Middlesbrough goalkeeper down and puts it in the back of the net. I can really see why he's liked by Sunderland fans. An exciting player. To have the confidence to do that in a local rivalry says a lot about your striker. And then, quite similar to the Sunderland equaliser in the first half, comes a Middlesbrough equaliser, where they were really against the flow of the game. Sunderland with a couple of half chances and obviously getting that equaliser, and then Hackney from just outside of the box, the person who put that amazing through ball in the first half, pings a shot. Nothing the Sunderland keeper can do about it, but a fantastic finish from him. Excited to see what comes from him, because as I say, I've not seen too much, but he seems like a very exciting player. After making it 2-2, Middlesbrough had a few half chances, but it was relatively calm actually up to the goal that made it 3-2, an 86th minute own goal. The cross, the assist was unreal, but it's just very unlucky from Giles for Middlesbrough, who accidentally volleys it into the net. If he was trying to do that, it looked like a fantastic finish. But as I say, that's why I kind of feel like Sunderland got a little bit lucky in this game. They did have, especially after the goal, there was another chance in the 89th minute, and then the chance of a lifetime from substitute Ian Poveda, a former Leeds boy, who gets it in the 94th minute in the box and just slips on his arse. I mean, I don't know what Sunderland were expecting when they signed Ian Poveda, but I think that kind of sums him up as a player in general. As I say, a little bit of a lucky victory, but that's exactly what is needed. Sometimes you need to scrape out a result against a local rival. It can't always be pretty. It can't always be a 3 or 4-0, and Sunderland just are picking up result after result, and that's why they're now level on points with Burnley, 3 points away from Sheffield United and 5 points away from Leeds in the top spot. I'm still not sure that they have quite enough to make it and keep challenging for automatic promotion throughout the rest of the championship season. But this is what I said about Ipswich last year, and they managed to do it, so I need to just keep my mouth shut. However, I do think that they will definitely finish in those playoff spots and have a very good chance of winning those. I reckon it'll be whoever finishes third or fourth. It's got to be one of those that win it. But of course, you would say that when they've been the best teams all year. As for Middlesbrough, very hit and miss. I think the signing of Morgan Whittaker is a fantastic one. I know that his recent form at Plymouth this season hasn't been as good as many people would have liked, but last season he was fantastic, and you've got to keep in mind sometimes that he's been playing for a pretty god-awful Plymouth side, sat rock bottom of the table, Wayne Rooney football. You're not expecting much from him. I think at Middlesbrough, give him some time to bed into the squad. By the end of the season, I expect to see big things from him. And to be honest, the Middlesbrough squad needs to be getting playoffs. They've got such a fantastic attacking line. We saw today some great midfielders as well. If they don't get playoffs, I think it's got to be on Carrick. There's not really any excuse for it at this point. Obviously, they're just outside of playoffs by goal difference, with West Brom sat above them at the minute. But to me, it's really not good enough. They should be in there. I think that realistically, they have a better squad on paper than Sunderland. Obviously, Sunderland have some fantastic players, but more so in terms of experience, in terms of if you were going to pick players that could slot into a higher level, maybe a Premier League or a top league in Italy, France, Spain, etc., I think that Middlesbrough have more players that are likely to fit into there, whereas Sunderland are more, at the minute, still going for the future despite being very good in the current. But I think that's why I can see them falling off and why I think Middlesbrough are actually slightly underachieving with the squad they have right now. But let me know how you feel about that. I'm interested to know maybe if I've been a little bit harsh on Sunderland today, maybe if I'm been a bit harsh on both teams in general. Let me know your thoughts on this match and give me a prediction as to where Sunderland and Middlesbrough will finish come the end of this season in the comments section below. Remember to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you again for another championship reaction very soon. Peace.